Hey guys, welcome. We're going to give it here a couple more minutes and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and get started here, guys. Good morning or afternoon, depending on which part of the country you're in. I want to welcome you to this discussion on some of the great new enhancements to our video platform. My name is Thomas Pedro. I handle the product marketing here for Alula, and I'm pleased to be joined by one of our resident experts from the product management team, Mr. Kyle Fosberg. Welcome, Kyle.
Yeah, excited to talk about our great new video lineup.
Okay, before we dive in, just a couple of quick housekeeping items. Hopefully, through the conversation, some questions come up. You should see a questions section on the dashboard there that you can go ahead and type those in. And we have about 20 minutes worth of content to cover, and we'll make sure to get to as many of those as we can before we close. So real quick, here's what we want to touch on today. We want to go over our new video camera lineup, talk a little bit about the importance of intelligent object recognition, review how our cameras come to life on the Alula Security App, talk about how you can use our video solution without other security components to increase your product offering, and then spend a little time reviewing what video looks like on our new Slimline Touchpad Pro control interface. So let's go ahead here and get started. As most of you guys already know, thanks to big tech, video doorbells are one of the most requested video products from homeowners. So I'm personally excited to see us expand our doorbell lineup. Kyle, can you touch a little bit on some of the highlights of these new models?
Well, the biggest element here that we already have is just there's options. Both form factors are really sleek and look great right at your front door. A couple different video options. You see the 2K versus the 1080p. You know, these aren't things that are probably going to be stand out to you. It is nice to rattle off the 2K element of that top one. But when you're looking at your app, you're looking at the downloaded clip. These probably aren't the things that the naked eye is going to notice. But again, keeping up with the technology there, certainly. Again, that big thing is diversifying the supply chain. We do have two separate vendors here then as well, both JSW and Hikvision, offering both the doorbell and outdoor models that you'll see coming up on the next slide here as well. Big element of this then is what we're going to talk about in a little while, is the AI elements of this, the human detection, pet detection, vehicle detection.
Great.
And again, just expanding on the more options here, two outdoor options, different form factors. Might see the slight difference in numbers again here then too. Probably not going to be the make or break element, but you know, if there is something that you're not seeing in the field of view, we do have options. Again, that's a huge part of it, right? Not just options for the customer or the dealer to be putting in, but again, expanding options so that not everybody's dipping out of the same pool of inventory here then too. So that'll kind of resolve itself. You won't be put up against having to choose one or the other at certain points. Both are going to be available to you.
And Kyle, I know we're going to talk about this a little more here in a bit, but these cameras all have the ability to identify source of motion within a clip. We'll have a screenshot of this in a bit, but can you just briefly touch on that?
Yeah, so the JSW line does use boxes to kind of highlight what has been detected. The HS2 versions of the line, those are kind of built into the algorithm to already detect that throughout the motion. We've built that in today. I say give me about 4 to 6 more weeks and you'll be able to tweak that a little bit more as far as the sensitivity on human or vehicle elements, and what you would see in the JS1 line, with the boxes around the source that's triggered the clip from our end. So you'll have a box around the human or around the animal that has actually triggered that event.
Great, great. So this is one of my personal favorites. With these cameras, as we just said a second ago, have intelligent object recognition. You know, we all get too many notifications on our phones across all the different apps. So to be able to differentiate between objects is important for customers to stay engaged and not just tune out when they get a notification from the system. Kyle, can you expand a little bit on this and talk to us about what the importance here is?
Yeah, I mean, it is just that then too. You're reducing the number of clips, and then the clips that you are getting are actually things that you may need to get your attention on. With previous models of motion detection camera, they do get a bit chatty. You're picking up elements that you might not need to be alerted to as a security risk. And therefore you're just kind of going back and maybe looking at clips if an event occurred. You're maybe turning off your notifications, things like that. So that's something that we want to avoid. We want to give you clips that are important to you. There is somebody physically at your door. It's not just the car that drove by or something like that. So you can tweak that as you need to. Maybe you do want to watch every car drive by and be up on the neighborhood watch team, but if not, and you want to be just alerted to specific events on your premise, this AI is for you. Again, like I said, with the JS1, you get a little binding box around the element that's tripped, and it's going to be obvious for you to kind of slide through and get through your clips to what you're actually looking for versus a large number of clips of just everyday events like bugs and rain and every time your porch light comes on or things like that are typically detected by more standard video motion detection.
Yeah, that's great. And there's also some really neat benefits to dealers and integrators here around cost savings, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely have seen dealers ramping up their clip limit because of the number of clips they have to use based on, ramping up the sensitivity because they don't want to miss something. But then that includes every, leaf falling or branch shaking, or maybe you got a flagpole waving in front that you're going to catch. You can now dial that back, and you're going to be able to maximize the amount of clips that you're actually using by detecting the things that you want. And there's sliders for all these things then too, to get the most out of the sensitivity and the reaction that you're really going to want. You can really hone that in these days.
Great. So as we move here to the next slide, I may be a little biased, but I think the coolest part of these cameras is how they come to life on the app. You can see there in the left screenshot, the bounding box that Kyle was mentioning. Here you can view live and recorded clips. You can manage the settings on your cameras. You can filter your clips by time of day, things like that. Kyle, can you touch on anything else here you think is relevant here to the audience?
Yeah, the binding box is, again, I'm probably really preaching about it here, but it is the element that brings the AI to life. You'll see it in the recorded clip as well as when you're just looking through live view. So you can constantly see if there's elements that you're interested in right into your app. Again, customizing this and making it easy for you to interact with is a huge part of our app. Very intuitive, and puts the big things in the front row. Right, we have a little dashboard that you go to see your favorite items, mainly going to be video here, things like that. But you could also add your Z-Wave devices there, security zone that you need to interact with, things like that. Then too are brought right at your fingertips there.
Yeah, and one of the things that I don't want to get lost here is, you know, we talked about the doorbells. You can interact with the doorbells in real time here on the app. So you can, you know, start a two-way audio session. You can see the notification that a user would get when someone is at the door, and that would start up a audio session and video session. So really nice, modern experience that, quite frankly, your customers are expecting to see here. You know, this one I think is pretty neat. It's the option to use our cameras as standalone video. You know, big tech, I think, has really conditioned people to this concept of, you know, just because you can see your home being robbed, you're secure, and everyone on this call knows that that's not actually true. But I think the great thing about this is as a result of that, a lot of customers have this preconceived notion that to get a security system, they just need cameras. And, you know, rather than being unable to fulfill that, we're seeing people actually start with video and offer that as kind of one of their packages, and then it creates great upsell opportunities to add on sensors and other things more on the security side there. And I know, you know, one of the things when you're only using a component of a system that either, in my opinion, kind of makes or breaks it, is how does the app change? And you can see on the screen here that the app actually has the ability to dynamically change based on the service offering that customer or even user is subscribed to. So the screenshot you see on the right would be a customer that has security automation and video, and they can click into the different components of the app. In the case of a video only, the app can be remotely configured from the Alula Connect dealer portal to only show cameras. So, you know, I think this is a really nice way to expand the product offering and ensure that you're able to reach all possible customers in your market. Kyle, is there anything that you wanna add there?
Options. It's an advantage to the end user. It's an advantage to the sales rep. You get to use every element, and from the high end to the low cost option, and you got so much room in between. And that's exactly what our app is built on. Is you know, not getting them lost if they're a camera only customer in you know, a non-existent element that they don't have in their system. And yeah, like you said, cameras have become security. At least that's perception that camera vendors are giving off, and we're quite fine with that to sell you that. But we know that a 90 decibel siren is probably maybe something we should add as well. So let's get that security in there.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to add too about this configuration that you're seeing too, you know, we can flip it too if they're a security only customer. We don't show them all the extra stuff then too for Z-Wave and home automation and cameras then too. And then further down the line, this is customizable per user. So if you have a user on your system that you want to only show the security elements, you can do that. You can hide the cameras from them. So that's distinguishable between user to assign them access to cameras or security as you see fit as well.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. I mean, really, this is all about, you know, how do we help our customers maximize the use of the app, and having, you know, a customer that's only using 20% of the app have to view the whole thing, and all the things that they're not paying for and therefore not able to use is not the experience that we want. So I think this is pretty cool that this option exists, and even better, this can all be configured. I mentioned this a couple minutes ago, but this can all be configured from the Alula Connect dealer portal. So no need to, you know, roll a truck or have anyone on site. This can all happen remotely, and the next time that person logs in, they'll see the updated view. So let's move on here to the Slimline Touchpad Pro, and you know how the cameras interact on the touchpad. You know, this is a 7-inch touch screen, and you know, when I think of all the different technologies that I have in my home, I know one of the biggest challenges is learning and understanding all of them, and if I only know a little bit about one and a lot about the other, I tend to use the one that I know the most about the most. And so I think one of the things that we've done here, which is really great for our customers and ultimately for homeowners and end users, is we've built the app and the touchpad to look the same. You know, 95% of the features and functionality are going to be the same across both. So you don't have to try to teach your team, your installers, your technicians, whatever, how to use one different than the other. They're pretty much one and the same. And more importantly than that, a homeowner can quickly pick up on the system. And if they are familiar with one or the other, they're familiar with the other. And I think, you know, the whole reason for that is how do we make this as simple and easy for them to use, because generally things that are used more are customers find value in, and therefore retention rates stay as high as possible. So the similar view between the two, I think, is really critical here. One of the other cool things is we do have the ability to brand both the mobile app and the touchpad. So logos and colors can change. Kyle, did you want to touch a little bit more on what that can look like?
Yeah, obviously your brand is important to you. We certainly see that as being partner focused, something that we want to bring out to you guys. So you would, you know, everything that you're seeing highlighted in blue there could be in your traditional colors. We would pop a logo into the menus, and then there's a sleep screen on the touchpad that a logo could appear. So certainly something we'd want you to talk to your sales rep about. It is offered to dealers in our pro program. So get with your sales rep, and if you don't know who that is, definitely reach out to me and Thomas. We'll get that organized for you then as well. We'll have our emails out at the end here then too to reach out to us. And if you got other questions, feel free to drop them in here then too. We'll get you sorted there one way or another. But yeah, very, very cool to be able to bring those elements of your brand to focus here.
Yeah, and I think the great thing there is too often I think customers forget who provides their security. But you know, it just works. It does what it's supposed to do, and then you know, the one time that it doesn't, they don't know who they're supposed to contact. Well, if it's branded with your company name and contact info in relevant areas and colors and all that, that's not a question people have. So pretty cool. So real quick before we wrap up, more information on all this stuff is available on our website. So cameras, alula.com/cameras, you're going to find side-by-side comparisons of the doorbells and the outdoor bullet models. We've got product sheets and install manuals available there as well. Certainly, if you go out there and you have a question on something that isn't there, again, Kyle just mentioned this, but we'll have our contact info up at the end here, and certainly reach out to your Alula team at any point there with questions. So let's just quickly recap kind of what we talked about. We've got new camera models available for outdoor bullet, doorbell, and indoor 360 camera lines. They leverage the smart object recognition to differentiate between relevant and non-relevant objects, which helps reduce your clip costs, keeps your costs low, and more importantly, increases the relevance and hopefully the use for your customers. The Alula Security App provides mobile control of the cameras and gives users the ability to configure cameras and view live and recorded clips right from their smartphones. All our cameras can be used independently of other security components, which gives you the opportunity to expand your product offering, gives you built-in upsell opportunities, and ultimately, hopefully, helps you grow your customer base. And then lastly, the Slimline Touchpad Pro offers a secondary way to view and control cameras, as well as answer the doorbell and interact with visitors at the front door. So those are the 5 things hopefully everybody can take away from what we've covered here. I want to thank everyone for attending and participating. And thanks to Kyle for his knowledge and insight as well. Before we get to questions, Kyle, anything you want to add?
Yeah, of course, just want to thank everybody for spending time with us here. I know everybody's busy these days with the summer jobs. Everybody's got things to do, so really appreciate you coming out. Feel free to ask questions. We'll take those for a little while here. And I see a couple coming in, but yeah, hit us with what you got here. Appreciate it.
All right, let's go ahead and we'll throw up this screen. There's our contact info as we promised. But let's go ahead and take some questions. Kyle, I will read these off, and then you can give us your thoughts there. So our customers going to be able, this question comes from James, our customers going to be able to schedule notifications for the cameras?
So I don't have that for you today. It's certainly an element we plan to bring out. I don't have a great timeline for you there, so I'll certainly be keeping you guys up to date on that as we launch features like that. But this AI detection should certainly reduce chattiness. That the feature really does probably give you elements of what you need with that. Without having to miss pieces. You know, I could see being able to go maybe privacy mode on the indoor cameras here, but as for exterior in a residential location, I would keep them on anyway. But yeah, great question. We do see elements of that, maybe wanting to line up more with the security systems arming and disarming pieces. But yeah, today it is kind of an all-on type of element.
Okay, this one comes from Kevin, and he wants to know which of the doorbells is better, the black or the white. I know I would answer that, Kevin, as it sort of depends on what you're looking for. The white doorbell has dual band Wi-Fi. The black just has 2.4. I think the black may have a little bit better range than the white doorbell. Kyle, anything else there?
Yeah, so and I would say back to range-wise, the night vision on the white is a little bit clearer at further distances as well. So depending on the open area, you may want that extended range there then too. Otherwise, the binding boxes that we're mentioning, that's available on the black version, whereas the white camera kind of has a built-in algorithm to just use those elements. Probably looking about 4 to 6 weeks, and I'll give you sliders for that sensitivity on the white camera. But today it is just built in. So look for that coming out. I'd say once that sensitivity slider is there, they're really going to be similar on par. But yeah, again, an element of that was kind of diversifying supply chain as well then too, so that these are always readily available. So what I would encourage you to do is pick up one of each and start giving it an evaluation. I think either one is going to impress you, and there's just going to be the tweaks that sway you either way. Yeah,
and the other thing, we mentioned this, but go out to the website, alula.com/cameras. You can dive into the doorbells. There's information on the webpage itself, but then product documentation is available there too. So hopefully you can answer those questions in more detail there. Question from Warren: can I get a quick reminder of which models have AI?
Yeah, and I was kind of describing that a little bit with the last explanation so the HS2 models have AI built into the algorithm. So there isn't the slider today for sensitivity or changing between vehicle versus human detection. The JS1 models kind of have a little bit more customization of those sliders, where there's a 1 through 10 scale on human detection, and there's a 1 through 10 scale on vehicle detection, and then you get those binding boxes. So the JS1 models, it's really obvious that the AI is there. With the HS2 models, it's built in the algorithm, and what you're going to really notice is the amount of clips you're getting versus a previous Alula model or a competitor's model without AI. You'll just have the reduced clips for the chattiness of leaves blowing, flags blowing, things like that. It's going to be specific to the AI element detection of humans or vehicles or even animals.
Great. Guys, keep the questions coming in. We've got time here for a couple more, and anything we don't get through here, we will certainly try to have our team follow up on. One question from David: are the cameras Wi-Fi and independent of using a back connect? Yes, they are Wi-Fi and can be used. That's how they can be used. Standalone. Cost for branding comes from Mark. We talked about the branding of the app and the touchpad, and that is built into our partner program. So if you're not familiar with the Alula Pro partner program, depending on the level that you're at there, that is something that is included there. So certainly, again, if you're unaware of that, get in touch with your sales team, and they can get you what you need there. But you know, personally, I think that's one of the coolest features we have, is the ability for our customers to do that. Let's go through a couple other ones here. This question comes from Jonathan: do the object detection boxes show up on the thumbnails? Kyle, you want to take that one?
That's a good question. I'm not sure that you would see that in the thumbnail. I am scrambling to open my app here to see if I can call that out here. I don't know that it's going to be clear on the thumbnail. What it does do, so I just see a couple thumbnails on mine here. I'm seeing, sorry to scramble here, but what it is going to highlight what triggered it. So I can very obviously see a person triggered my last event here. I don't have the box around them though. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right. I have a lot of cameras, so I apologize about that too. I might be mixing one up here.
Yeah, my guess, Kyle, thanks for looking. My guess is on a thumbnail image, the bounding box is going to be so small it would be very difficult to even really see it. But as soon as you would click into that clip, you would be able to see that. Would be. Yeah,
and the element that's important there is the thumbnail should kind of highlight what triggered it too, so it is still in there.
Yep. Okay, cool. Let's move on and try and get through a couple more here before we let everyone go. This question comes from Gene: will the cameras be able to send video to the central station for video alarm verification?
We are not set up to do that from our platform today. It again is another one that we see the value in. We certainly see where many areas are even requiring it these days for dispatch. So we don't have it set up that it drops on the central station, but this kind of does tie into our own alarm verification piece, where we've given the control to the user to cancel or confirm alarms. And that feature is kind of handed over to the user, where within their app, they're able to kind of verify from their camera. They're able to go look at their cameras, look at their security aspects, and either validate an alarm with an additional signal sent to the central station, or cancel that entirely, based on who they see. But yeah, we can't do that today to send that clip to your monitoring center.
Great. All right, we'll go through two more here. This question comes from Daniel. I can take this one. Can your product sheets be co-branded? Do you allow the use of your images for company marketing materials? Two things here as the marketer on the call. Yes, you co-brand them. We are, one of the things we pride ourselves on at Alula is being partner focused. So we are more concerned with you being successful than our brand being represented. So if you want to take one of the product sheets and brand it and make it your own, you're more than welcome to do that. The other thing, maybe more importantly than that, is if you have not been in our partner resource center, partner.alula.com, you can actually brand. I don't know that the product sheets are available there yet, but there's a whole section of marketing content that's available for you to brand there. And it's designed where all you have to do is upload an image, type in a couple different text fields, hit update, and then you've got a print ready PDF. So again, that's in our partner resource center. If you don't have a login, you don't know what your login is, reach out to your sales team, or feel free to send me an email, and I can thomas.pedro@alula.com, and I can help you with that. But yes, Daniel, to answer your question, our product sheets can be co-branded. All right, let's do one more here, and then we'll let you guys get on with the rest of your day. This question comes from Sol. He says the cameras are viewable on the touchscreen when connected to a Bat Connect as well. I believe that answer is yes. Kyle, can you confirm?
Yeah, so that's been a huge element of our Bat Connect is being able to add these touchpads, and a huge element of Alula is being IP based. So when you have either your security system Connect Plus or a Bat Connect on the local network, Wi-Fi or Ethernet, and your touchpad can then join the network, when all of these things are on the same network, they can all talk to each other then too. So that's when from the touchpad you'd sign in to your Alula app credentials for that user, and you'd see what they see. So if they have access to those video cameras in their app, they'd see that as well on the touchpad.
Great. Well, I know we have a few questions here we didn't have time for. Like I said, we will try to have the team follow up and get those answered for you. Thanks to everyone again for joining. Thanks for the questions and the participation. Hopefully you learned something here, and I do want to say to stay tuned. Our webinar next month will be about a month from now, and is going to cover some of the great new service features that we've built for you to offer your customers. So with that, I'll go ahead and let everybody go. Thanks again, and have a great rest of your Thursday.
Thanks a lot, everybody.